Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. This is a new kind of experimental version of Sleep With Me we've never done before. So welcome. These are just bedtime stories from our podcast, Sleep With Me. And to make them feel fresh, these ones are from a couple of years ago. So if you're a regular listener, you might get a refresh. And if you're new, these are just bedtime stories from a show called Sleep With Me. They're strange, they're meandering, they're a little bit different. And all this is made possible by listeners like you, regular listeners like you. And so I just want to let you know that's how we're able to put the show out. And so if you are a fan of Sleep With Me, you listen to it on a regular basis, please consider supporting the show. You get ad-free episodes, you get ad-free story-only episodes, tons of other cool stuff at Sleep With Me Plus. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But if you're in a position and you have some money every month, or you say, hey, maybe I don't watch that streaming service, I'd rather give it to a podcast, think about your favorite podcast. It doesn't have to be Sleep With Me, and support that podcast. If it is Sleep With Me, I consider supporting the show would be great. But if it isn't, or there's a podcast you listen to way more, brings you a lot of value during the day, please support that podcast. Podcasting is going through a different time right now, and your favorite podcast, the one you get the most out of, could use your support the most. So consider supporting it however they request support. Just check it out, like listen to the show or check out their website, or consider supporting Sleep With Me. If Sleep With Me, you say, oh no, Sleep With Me is the one I listen to the most, sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's the only podcaster. You could call me by my name, Dear Scooter, but you're the name of the pod. You're probably better off calling by the name of the podcast. But call me when you need. Call me in the evening or the morning. I'll be on my way. But like I said, call me when via podcast app when you want. Call me when you need, because I'm here to give you the lulls to put you to sleep. I got the lulls that they envy, if you know what I'm saying, because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. This is a quick message here. If you get a lot out of Sleep With Me, if you're a regular listener, you like these new things we're trying out, like the story-only version of the show. If you're new, don't worry about any of this. But if you're a regular listener of Sleep With Me, or you're a regular listener of any podcast, if you have a favorite podcast, and it's not Sleep With Me, that's totally cool. If you have podcasts you listen to way more, or you get way more value out of, I totally understand that. Consider supporting that podcast. Podcasting as an industry is kind of going through a weird phase right now. Direct support from listeners is going to be, it seems like it's going to be the future of most shows. And so consider supporting the podcast you really love. And you could do that. You could find out, you could listen to the show and see how they ask to be supported. Or reach out to them and say, hey, how can I support you? Or if you can't afford, a few dollars a month, you say, hey, how else can I support you? But if Sleep With Me is the one, Sleep With Me Plus is the best way to support Sleep With Me. Sign up for Sleep With Me Plus. Not only you get unbelievably sweet different ways to listen to the show, but it's a huge help for us to be able to do stuff like this. But yeah, think about what your favorite podcast is, and then go ahead and go to their website, or if you already know how they like to be supported, support that show. Thanks and good night. All right, everybody. Scoots here. It's Italian week on Great British Bake Off, Collection 5, or series. I forget what season it was. Episode 7. And, oh boy, was this episode was H-O-T-E, why do I want to say E? H-O-T hot. So let's run through my notes, and then we'll run through the episode and run through my notes again. Toss up, goes up. Sandy tossing pizza dough does not come down. Then it does. Slow payoff. Hot intent. A proven HE double hockey sticks, but not moving. First ever Italian week. What is a star set? Valley of the Cakes Kings. Stacy can't get rid of M. Liam, crack on. Yan, book carp for Baker. Brook carp for Baker. Bonjour, bakers. So that must be the talking head sequence. Eat. What is Senit? Italian pony. Oh, that's like Italian play on the Italian stallion. 18 Ceno. 18 Cenoi. 3 fillings. 18. What are those called? They're not cannellini beans. Cannolis. I spelled cannoli. CEN. Oh, I see. I got it close. CA. If I'm giving my, if I called it shorthand, it would be CE mound O / with a dot. Like does kind of get to cannoli. 3 fillings, tube, internal information. No. Internal Italian oh, they say, get ready, get set, infonare to bake, bellissimo. Stephen, respect Italian food. Ricotta, sweet filling, get shell right with bubbles. Eat without a mess, like in Palmero, 45 degrees. Dough, vinegar for bubbles, 160 grams, no sticky mess. Liam, inspired by me, cheesy human. Lemon cheesecake, Turkish food, baklava, says Liam's. Marshmallow chocolate, fried cheese and... I have. Oh, have you been practicing? They go, but Paul's like, how many times have you practiced? Liam's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Just Paul goes, have you been practicing? Really? Because I have. Stephen, every week is Italian week, but I've never seen, he talks about, I think his grandfather, never seen him make cannolis. Italian lemons. Stacy's making a jam roly, but not a jam roly poly cannoli. A jam roly cannoli. I just got that alliteration. That's alliteration, right? I mean, it's rhyming, but jam roly poly into jam roly cannoli panoli. A roly poly, but she's just doing jam roly cannoli. Cocoa powder in the dough. How will you know it's done? That they're cooked? I feel like I'll know. Mixing sequence, Kate happy hour, limoncello. This is one of my favorite LaCroix flavors. And back in my pre-sober days, in Italy, I had limoncello. I don't know if I had it in the U.S., probably once or twice. But yeah, I like that limoncello. I like key lime and limoncello flavored LaCroix. Not all the time, because it has like a creamy... But it's kind of like a soda substitute. Look, they can be hard to purchase. Like my grocery stores don't always have key lime, and I only buy like LaCroix when it's on sale. I think again, to go back to like, if you're buying bubbly water by the can, I think 2.8 cents an ounce is what you shoot for, or 2.5 cents an ounce is a good deal. Definitely sub 3 cents an ounce is what you're aiming for. Though sometimes LaCroix, I think getting it at 3.5 cents an ounce might be their best price. But if you go generic, I mean, you can't get limoncello generic. They haven't sold a lot of Polar out here. On the East Coast, they sell a lot of Polar sparkling water. And, but recently they have, and it'll be, the asking price is always pretty high, but then it goes on sale more often, like every other week it's on sale, and it's usually a pretty steep sale where you're hitting that sub 3 cents an ounce. We don't have Wegmans. If you have Wegmans, do yourself a favor, cherry vanilla sparkling water. It's after dinner water. Actually, probably not, but after lunch water. Okay, so limoncello, Noel drinks some. He does like some kung fu moves. Espresso martini. Kate says, I like to have 3 of those. And Sandy says, I had it once and I gave away all my jewelry to strangers. Yan, mint rose and lime, passion fruit and vanilla, cocoa powder, Bubbles relying on instinct, she says, because again, the cocoa powder, same with Stacy, she says it's going to be a problem. And when Yan says, I'm going to rely on instinct, Prue makes this face. Stephen, cannoli base, is that what it says? Cannoli base, ricotta, traditional base. Don't play with the classics, man. Sophie, my own spin. So I've never been more aligned with a baker breaking the rules than this. And I watched this with my daughter too. We're in full agreement that we would have Sophie's cannolis first because she does mascarpone, however you say that, mascarpone instead of ricotta. And they say, what? Why? But Paul especially. Texture's nicer. Sigh, Paul says, that's unusual. Not that word. Gelatin, too. A little twist. But Sophie's confident. And I say, yeah, that's like the one thing that, it can't get out of my brain even when a cannoli doesn't taste like, one, it's hard to get a good cannoli. I mean, you got to go out of your way so you get them when they're right in, like at the right time, post-production. But I don't know. I just say, wait a second, like a buttercream cannoli or whatever. Anyway, pasta clock. I realize if you're a traditionalist, that's out of the ordinary. I'm just kind of trying to say, if I go out of my way, if I'm in Italy, ricotta cannoli all the way, or if I'm at somebody's house, or if I'm making a trip like into San Fran, do they call it San Fran? Frisco. That's what you're not supposed to call it if you're from here. SF, to get to go to a proper bakery. Yeah, I'll have it. Okay, so pasta clock, halfway done. Pasta rolling thin, light, 1 millimeter. So Liam's going for. If it's too thick, it's too thick. Or something. Steven rules or he gets stony. Cut it, roll it up. It's hot. You could go for a child's paddling pool right now. Everybody layers their clothes because they're going to be frying in oil. In the fryers, things go. Sophie points out you got to seal your edges. You end up with a papadum, which other people end up with. Liam and Kate. Folding up, Paul, Prue. Paul and Prue are sitting and watching. Liam, Stadler and Waldorf. Ian says, oh dear. Block the Sven. Stephen, good bubbles. Prue watches Stacy close, smashing. Flings, 15 minutes, filling, not as thick. Stacy, distraction, Yan shaking. Stephen lost a shell. Nolan, Stacy. I'm going to come in, you go out. He goes in to talk to her, she leaves. Stephen watches the deep fryer. Stacy has a mix up with the raspberries. And time is up. Sweat and rags. Everybody's wiping their brow, basically. Flames, drive, carrocks, flumers, drove, cannolis. I don't know. Something down your cannolis. Stacy. Is that not meant to be? Bubbles good. Tiramisu and cheesecake good, but doughy. Chewy, underdone, like Hollywood fingers, Noel says about Paul. Liam, great shell, bubble, pouring out, it's lemony delicious, or something delicious, I can't read my writing. I think it's a lemon cheesecake, very good, sensational. Stephen, bubbles perfect, love the flavor. Uncutters, lovely. Unctuous, I think, Bruce says. Very sharp lemon. Paul even rubs his jaw. Delivers. Very good, sharp. And bubbles, question mark, flat and thin. Nice tartness, too tender, shells let you down. Kate, they say not identical. You have some bubbles, a little disappointed. Limoncello's, all right, delicious. Then for Sophie, they say, wow, this lemon lime and ginger is good. I think I prefer this. But Bruce says it works. Very good, not sloppy, heaven. Then they joke about Paul's spray tan. Then we do a talking head sequence. Then we have Italian music. So everybody comes in with sunglasses. Liam cracks up. Signore Peru, baking bambinos, lemon tart Norel microcloths. Definitely not, none of that's right. I have no idea any of those words. Baking bambinos, but basically they're going to make this classic thing. Pizza margherita, infonare. Bread with cheese on top, table talk. They think it's easy. It's not, doesn't think it's hard. Red, white, and green. Basil at the end, basil at the end. Basil, is that what they say? Basil versus basil. Tougher than they think. 200 grams of flour. Gotta have that, chewy but crispy. Kirk and prove ours. So they have to knead and then prove their bread. Liam time, tomato sauce. Liam kisses for Sunday. Oh, he gets kisses on his cheeks from Sandy and Noel. They love him. Sandy does not like suave. Stacy does not like suave. Kate's finger. Sandy helps. It's hot. Tent halfway. Leaning tower of pizza falling. 30-centimeter base. No rolling pin. No, Liam and Yan, I'll try tossing. Yan's gets too elastic. She has to reprove. Yan and Noel, you could be my pizza. 30 minutes. Yeasted flatbreads, mozzarella torn, Kate says. Big versus small pieces. Pizza peel, trouble. Over 10 minutes. Liam, Kate can't get it off. Disaster. A lot of trouble with the pizza peel. I've been there. Holy cow. Pizza peels are hard to work with. That's why I think you have to power bake. I don't see any other way. I've tried it. Yan proved 10 minutes. Toss, success. Farm, Oregon. Everyone forming self. Liam and Noel, pizza looks good. Kate, somebody willing their pizza to cook at the end. So Liam cooked on bottom, nice and soft in the middle, well-flavored, nice pizza. Sophie, a little thick, more English style, but not bad at all. Kate, disaster, not nice to eat. Stacy, cheese too chopped up, too thick, under-seasoned. Steven looks good, love them or something. Yan, underbaked, so they go worst to best. Kate, Yan, Stacy, Sophie, Liam, Steven, and then we go to the talking heads and the showstopper. But let's run through the show for a little while here. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, so we got the thing. Sandy's tossing. She's got some olive oil, some flour. Needs some skills today. What are you doing? Paul's teaching me how to toss. He is an expert. Doesn't come down. Anyway, it's Italian week. Lands on Noel's head. First time. His temperatures to match. Boiling. Sicily's favorite street foods. Classic. That's not simple. And the most complex of Italian pastries. Then they're in Berkshire to Venice, but they're not moving. I think Sandy's having maybe some ice cream, probably gelato. Baker's going to the tent. Going to be the hottest day ever, maybe. So everybody's already hot. Stacy's like, can't get rid of me. Liam's still riding high from, got to crack on, Star Baker, but enjoyed it. Ann says it's boot camp for bakers. Sophie says, I love Italy. Hopefully I still will. Bonjour, bakers. Noel shows off his pizza shirt. Italian stallion, more of a pony. Fried pastry tubes, aka cannolis. You have to make 18, 3 fillings, identical, no mismatches. You have 2.5 hours. Infonare. So they get to work. Ciao bellissimo, Stacy says, respecting Italian food. Tube of deep fried pastry, ricotta sweet mixture, Bruce says. Just to make it harder, you got to do 3 fillings, but you got to get that shell right, according to Paul. Golden brown, bubbles. It's characteristic of cannoli. Luscious filling, can't run out. Eat it without a mess. But it is hot, but it's hot in Palermo. You can go up to 45 degrees, so no excuses. Liam's making his dough. Stephen and Yan are adding vinegar. Oh, and somebody else, Sophie, 160 grams. Can't make a sticky mess, though. They go to Liam, tell us about your cannolis, me doing me or something, narcissistic cannoli. He goes, yeah, my friends say I have a cheesy humor, so I'm making a cheesecake cannoli. I eat a lot of Turkish food, so I'm doing a baklava. Just doing me, that's his thing. Just doing me, cannoli. Marshmallow and dark chocolate from camping. So he's got some flavors. Yeah, he says, I've been going through them. Paul says, he does the high voice. Stephen, every week is Italian week. Family in Italy, grandfather's Italian, but he can't help me today, so I never saw him make cannoli. Coffee and hazelnuts, almond praline and chocolate, lemon curd and chocolate. He's doing his lemons. He's got some Italian lemons. Stacy, what are you doing? Jam, roly cannoli. Hold the pole. So she's doing custard and raspberry, lemon cheesecake, white chocolate, and something else. New twist with the cocoa inside the shell. How you going to know they're done? We went through that. Bruce got a nice blue watch face that goes. I like that. I just noticed that. Everything goes in the fridge. Probably more fridge space now that there's less bakers. Excellent, something, cannoli, excellent, marshmallow, pistachios, Kate's Italian cocktail cannoli. No, he drank the limoncello right out of the bottle. Happy hour, limoncello, Campari, and orange, and then the espresso martini one. Not too much alcohol to overwhelm, though. And Sandy goes, yeah, had a bad night with an espresso cocktail. And, yeah, there's the flavors. Yan's doing amaretto rose, mint and lime, honey and amaretto, and passion fruit and vanilla. Also doing cocoa powder in the dough. How are you going to get your bubbles? Oh, yeah. But I'm also relying on instinct. Two Mississippi on Bruce look, I think. So then we go to Steven. He's working on his base. Stacy's working on her thickener. Liam's getting his ricotta. Everybody's doing the ricotta base except for Sophie. Steven says, I don't play around with classics. Same with Kate. She's kind of, don't mess around with the classics. She's really draining her ricotta. Sophie says, you know what? You got to stand out, No ricotta. Classics with a twist. Amaretto, almonds, ginger, lemon, lime cream, and chocolate and hazelnuts. And they say, in a cannoli, Paul says. And she goes, yeah, texture's nicer. This cannoli's got ricotta. Does it have to be? Could you make apple pie with pear? Be unusual. Couldn't do it in Italy. You're using gelatin as well, or gelatine? Yeah, to thicken it up, yo. Pasta clock, halfway through. Everybody's hot. Time doesn't change. More rolling out is going on. Pasta roller. And, yeah, make it thin and nice. It's a balancing act. Know what I'm doing. I'm glad. This is not, I could not be a pastry chef. Too thin, bubbles won't appear. You got to follow the rules so you don't get stung, according to Steven. So he rolls this up on his form. We get some outside shots. We get some shots, everybody warm. Winner gets to lie down in a child's paddling pool. Everyone should. People are sticking their heads in the fridge. Paul and Brew are sitting down on a table. Then everybody has to put layers on because it's going to be so hot. Don't want to get splashed. More rolling. Let's do it. Into the fryers. Out of the out of the hand into the fryer. Steven's got his watch. He's timing things. Just hope they don't separate. Sophie just wears a sleeve. She has some sort of apron sleeve, which is probably smart too, so she doesn't get too warm. Some come off the mold because they didn't seal them, like Sophie just said earlier. Tough to tell if they're done with the cocoa. And deep frying, doing it by the color, everything okay. And it's like, this is not good. And one broke. That looked good. It is really hot. I could block the sun. That'd be great. I'll put a call into the moon. Thank you. And making bubbles. Stevens look really bubbly. And Stacy's working hard. Stevens working on his fillings. Ann's working on her fillings. Espresso, chocolate, lemon, cheesecake. It's all coming together with 15 minutes. No one's filling yet, but this is just an edit, Then piping bags are getting ready. And hot liquid. Top speed, everybody's rushing. Kate's had some issue with something. Yan's shaking a bit. One short, 10 minutes. People are feeling the pressure here. Steven's making one more. Stacy, I'm coming in. Oh, I'm going out. She's putting hers in the fridge. Tube fell off. Steven's upset. Everybody's trying to get the finishing touches on. But 1 minute left. 60 seconds. Make it count. You can do it. Steven's got to do one more. They just took out. Stacy had a little mix-up, so she's stressed. And everything's coming together. Slowly, time's up. Everybody's hot. Oh, so hot. Stacy's upset. Mine look a mess. Get some outside shots, a drone shot. Now they face the judgment of Paul and Peru. Hi, Stacy. Okay, what's going on with these? They're mixed up. Yeah, I put some raspberries on the wrong ones. Okay. This tiramisu one. Great flavors. Chocolate one's good, but it's too doughy. Chewy, it's underdone. Pastry dough started off brown, so it's difficult to tell when it's fried enough. And you could rename them Hollywood Fingers. Liam just doing me. Great shell, beautiful bubbles. The marshmallow flows out a little bit too much. Not a great choice for filling. Lemony one's delicious, very good. Pistachios, walnuts, ricotta, sensational. Cheers. Steven, bubbles are perfect. They bite into it. Love the flavor. Praline, good. Maca, unctuous, lovely. And lemon curd, Paul, very sharp, rubs his jaw. It is sharp, Bruce says. Delicious Italian lemons, and so well done. Yan Canoli cocktails, they look flat, not much activation. Pastry's thin. Nice tartness in this rose one. Amaretto. It fell apart. Pastry's too tender. Shouldn't squish that hard. It fell to pieces. Coco fooled you into thinking it was ready. Kate happy hour cocktail cannoli. They're not identical. Some are shorter. Bubbles. Then they put in the espresso martini one. Not very alcoholic. I'm disappointed. Thought there would be more. Limoncello. Alcohol's all right. Negroni. Orangey. Ricotta. Delicious. Then they go to Sophie's. Lemon, lime, ginger. We went through the flavors. She said, I just prefer the mascarpone. It's going to be interesting. See how it's set and everything. So they cut it. Everybody else is watching. Real test here. Paul bites in. Prue bites in. Nothing to say. Paul thinks, okay, doesn't pour down. It holds. Good. Might have converted me. It's not sloppy, Bruce says. Almond amaretto's heaven. We got dryness coming through. 3 very good cannolis. If I was on the streets of Sicily, I'd be happy. And then Noel says, maybe you could get a spray tan in that color. Thank you very much. We see some ducks and ducklings. Sophie's like, that went better than I thought. Stephen was, happy that he played with his jaw. Cian's feeling the pressure. Every challenge counts. Stacy, very, very stressful. Then we have everybody with their bakes, sunglasses. Sunglasses come off. Liam cracks up at Chow Baker's. Signore Prue. Baking Bambinos. That's what I said. That's what I couldn't. Judges, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the tent. Paul's in a mime class. Bruce working on a novel. Italian classic pizza. Margarita, perfectly made, hour and a half only. Infonare. Okay, I don't know what a pizza is. Liam jokes. Bread, cheese on top. What's the worst that could happen? We have table talk. Well, everybody thinks this is easy, Bruce says, but yeah, you got to get it right. You got to stretch it because you want it really thin. No rolling pin. A bit of throwing in a traditional way. Got the colors, margarita basil at the end. You got to get it cooked, crisp on the outside, soft in the middle. Another drone shot. Everybody's working on their dough. Knead, not really sure. Everybody's like, okay. Magra is thin in Italian, and bellissimo means beautiful. Croccante means crispy. And everybody's waiting, kneading their dough. It's so hot they might not need a proving drawer. Setting their timers. Liam, you playing a video game? Tomato sauce. It just says make it. So everybody's trying to figure out what goes into it. Garlic, lemon juice. Then they kiss Liam. Stacy not sure on the garlic. Tomatoes. Everybody puts it in their frying pan. Lemon juice. When do you add the lemon juice? At the end, and then put some sugar in to balance it out. Stacy's not sure on the flavor. Kate has to get a little tape on her finger. Everybody's looking. She's laughing. She comes back. Noel and Sandy are there to cheer her up. Baker's here halfway through pizza delivery time. Leaning tower of pizza. Okay. And a shape and toss 30-centimeter base. Got to get that right. No rolling pin. What? Sneaky Peru. Of course there's no rolling pin. Freehand. That's the point of the tossing, right? But could fall. They try to peer pressure Liam and tossing his. Steven's flattening his out. Sophie's doing hers with by hand. Okay, come on, Liam, toss it. He's like, okay. He does it twice, but he's like, no way, dude. Stacy's doing it. Yan actually tries, but actually makes her have to reprove it, which is not good. because it takes up a lot more time. Everybody but Yan's having fun with the tossing because she had to reprove her bread. Bit overworked. Okay, then another shot. 30 minutes. Feel drinking water. Still overheating. Yeasted flatbreads. Call it pizza. 30 minutes to finish your pizza. Here we go. Mozzarella should be torn, in my opinion. A little bit of basil on top. But William's the one person that says, I got to put it in later. Then you got to get your pizza in the oven. But you should have decorated it on the peel. I don't know. Liam gets his in, no problem. Or maybe that's, 10 minutes. Sophie's got in. Kate does not get in. Stuck on the peel. And falls apart. Everything comes off. Beyond a disaster. 15 minutes left. Everybody, Yan's like, okay, you can do it. She's still rolling hers out. So she's 30 centimeters. But again, she makes the same mistake and doesn't, decorates it before she puts it on the peel. So she has trouble getting hers off. Everybody's still talking about the heat. Liam's pizza looks really good. And Stacy's looks good, but, and Steven's looks good. Sophie's looks good. Yan and Kate's are having issues. And stuff comes out of the oven. Some people put their basil on after it came out, but not in the oven. Stick them behind your photo. Be proud. Kate's wants hers in the bin. And Paul and Prue want to see a classic margarita. So they start with the Liam's, very nice, cooked on the bottom. It passes a hang test. Tastes good, beautiful flavor, well-flavored dough. Nice pizza. Sophie's a little thick, more English rather than Italian. Got some tang, nice tomato, not bad at all. Then Kate, a little bit of a disaster. Got, had trouble getting in the oven, basically. So not really cooked all the way. Then Stacy's, they say the mozzarella's chopped up too much, so it's lost in the passata. And it's a little thick, under-seasoned, not exciting. Steven, this looks good, round, nice basil, nice char on the edge. And flavors are there, tomatoes good. Then they go to Yan's. That one's underbaked, undercooked, but overall you could eat most of them. And then they do the judging. Kate's got stuck on the peel. Yan undercooked, misshapen. Stacy fourth, Sophie third. It was tricky between first and second. And second spot's Liam. Well done, very good, nice pizza. And that leaves Steven, wonderful, right amount, scant topping, flavor lovely, well done. Everybody applauses. Okay, I went off intuition. Liam says I can get in the pizza business. Kate's like, yeah, well, I went wrong. And that didn't go to plan. Got to keep myself safe. We see outside shot. We see a moss, a flower. We see the bakers walking in for the next day. Last chance for a winning impression on Paul and Prue. Showstopper. One more attempt to keep your place in the tent. Table talk. Steven smashed it. He had the best pizza, so he's coming back. Liam is vying for Steven at the top. Stronger and stronger. Sophie, who's in trouble. Kate, Yan. Yan's in real trouble. Stacy's kind of in the middle. And Steven says she's like a John McEnroe of baking. So I guess she has even more of a temper than they show on there. And when you get flustered, you make mistakes. And they say, okay, welcome to your second day here in sunny Italy. Your showstopper, the judges want you to make shell-shaped sovitelli. Soffiatelli, like rustling leaves, flaky pastries, 24. They're supposed to look like lobster tails, 4.5 hours, infonare. So everybody gets to work here, 50 grams of sugar. You got to do well today. Quarterfinal. Soffiatelli was developed 200 years ago. It's like a phyllo pastry akin to a lobster tail. Cracks in your mouth. Should have a luscious filling. 12 of one flavor, 12 of another. Biggest mistake is not building the layers. They'll fall apart. It's a very delicate process. Even Paul and Prue, like, this is a tough one. Probably the most complex we've ever done. Steven says you got to leave this to the pros. So he's just boiling his lemons for an hour. He's Sicilian lemon marmalade, chocolate and orange. And they say, what's the hardest part? He goes, getting the flair of those leaves. I've researched it. People say don't bother if you don't have 3 days and you have 3 hours. Complex, challenging. And Steven even gets mad. He goes, you picked it. Don't be laughing, Paul or Prue. And Sophie's making everybody's putting semolina and ricotta, folding into the chocolate. Yan's up. Tell us about our Soffiatelli. It's from my trips to Canada, Women's World Cup. These lemon blueberry scones we would eat. And the other one's going to have bacon dust, bacon praline. How can we go to Canada? Well, my wife was offered a job there, but we're Londoners through and through. Liam's also doing a maple pecan, but he's going to skip the bacon since Yan's already doing it. He switched it up. He's got a unique fake ice display. So he's ready for that. His granddad used to deliver seafood to restaurants. So he goes, I like having a personal aspect. Stacy starts on the pasta machine. What you got to do to make 24 Soffiatelli, you need 14 meters of pastry, like a flat pastry. Labor intensive. If it tears, you got to start over. It's going to be a beast. Can't be rushed. Liam's like, yeah, you okay? Then you have to roll it up. That's what forms the leaves. Spreading lard over it to get the flaky crunch. Stretching it out to make like a massive sausage. So you got to gently stretch it. If you make a hole, oh boy, takes hours and hours. Massive technical showstopper, Bruce says. This is hard. And they say, have you had this before, Kate? She goes, no, I've heard about it, though. So she does dark chocolate and hazelnuts and a lemon and tahini. So a savory one, huh? She says, I got to take a risk. Prue likes that. She nods. Sophie's doing a mango and passion fruit and then a cherry almond chocolate. And just want to get the pastry right. And they say, Stacy, your pastry is starting to look like underwear. And they have a laugh. Tell us about yourself. You tell citrus and sultanas and then praline cream. Already made the praline. So creme pat. I'm going to put some creme pat in there, some choux pastry to puff up and fill it. But it could be tough with this heat in the oven and the timing. And they should practice it 10 times, and 9 times it did not work. 2 hours in, it's still hot, very Italian. Temperature 40 degrees. Rising heat, sticky, not great for making stuff, for rolling wafer thin pasta. Butter's melting, ruining the pastry. Some is beyond repair. Splitting and hot, but Sophie's like a machine. And then Stacey talks about, at school they always said I didn't concentrate. I had potential. I said, that's like me. Stacey and I are similar. And then you have to start cutting your pasta. Steven's measuring his out. Moment of truth as you cut it to see if you have the layers, which is, what do they call that? I don't know, I forgot, lamination. Lamination is baker talk for multiple layers. They talk about it now. No lamination, not good. Ugly Italian says, they say, okay, do these look like lobster tails? We'll have a pet lobster. Nothing to see here. Then Stacy's filling her shoe pastry one. And you want to make sure they're even in size, not uneven. Don't talk to me about yours, Liam. And Ian says, I got to do this no matter what. And Noel says, I can always step in for you. Put your apron on. She goes, that's nice, you. Let me see an outside shot. Still warm. Steven has his on an ice bath to keep him cool. Kate's like, mine are melting as I'm putting them together. Stacy's like, this is melting. Very frustrating. Liam's having trouble putting his together. Paul's watching him. He's watching me on the one I messed up. Gotta be kidding me. He goes, go look at my other ones in the fridge. Come on, man, please. And he's just such a wind-up merchant. Then Paul's standing behind him, messing with him. We see the birds and the bees, 30 minutes in Italian. Yan's falling behind, puts hers in a freezer. Not worth the calories, is a paranoid. Sophie says if we don't want Bruce saying that. Everything goes in the oven. 15, 20 minutes. As the fat cooks, the layers will spread apart. Everybody's like, oh boy. And 16 minutes left to put them in the oven for Yan. Everybody else is watching their ovens. No lamination. No lamination. I'm not laminated, Noel says. It's not the end of the world. I'm having a great time. Everybody's watching. Stacy doesn't want to look at hers because she's worried. 10 minutes. Not enough time for Yan to get hers done. She says, no, God, no. Everybody's checking hottest day of the year, putting the gloves on, taking it out of the oven. So Steven's come out, Liam's come out, Stacy's come out. And I don't even know what I'm looking for. Crappy Atelli, Stacy says. Shoe pastry puff too much. Very depressing. Kate says, I don't know. My filling does taste great, Stacy says. I have the best filling. Then she's trying to put hers in a thing. Everybody's watching her for like a 2-minute sequence, trying to inject her filling and saying, come on, and getting stressed. At least yours are cooked, Ann says. Pastry cream leaking out, shooting out. Prue's watching, shaking her head. That's the only reason I did the shoe pastry was to put the creme pat inside of it. 3, 2, 1, 1 minute left. Yans are still in the oven. At least on the edit, putting on extra icing sugar for Stacy to try to cover it up. And everybody's upset, and that's the end. Steven sighs. Let's have an espresso martini. Let's get out of this hot tent. So they sit outside breathing and talking and sweating. And then we go back for the judging. Everybody's sitting with their presentations, judgment time. The judges come out, and Liam goes first. He's got his nice presentation, and they say, that's very creative. We love that. Lobster tails on ice, amazing to look at. He smiles, inconsistent in size, great lamination, great layers. Pecan and maple's delicious. Orange comes through on the other one. Hell of an achievement. Steven's up next. His are in the baskets. And they zoom out from those. And they say, geez, these are proper Showstopper. Lobster tail, lamination style. And Steven says, come on, substance. Style box ticked. They open his up. They say, okay, and substance. So Steven's happy. Delicious, ginger, lemons, really Italian, flaking, pastry's perfect, authentic. You could sell them in Italy. And Sophie's up, classics, Great lamination, classic lobster tail, intricate, cherry's good, nice bitterness, that works. Like crisp leaves, chewing it, you get quite a showstopper. Then Kate's flavor fusion, disappointed in the way they look. This is supposed to be a proper showstopper presentation. It doesn't look like you're proud of them. Problem with the lamination, look like they've been sat on. Hazelnut and chocolate, tahini and lemon's quite pleasant. If you close your eyes, you'd say this is great. Yan goes, not getting much lamination. Maple and bacon's flavor's lovely. Consistency's quite doughy. Crumb pat, these are quite raw. Blueberry. You're disappointed. In a way, we're disappointed too. Bit of a mess. Total mess. Stacy goes, and they look at hers and they say, Sovietinis, lamination's poor, too much icing, sugar. Normally yours looks good. Citrus and raisin. The filling's good. Right degree of sweetness. Very runny for a crumb pat. You were too ambitious, and it burst out. And then you got some raw dough. But I know you were trying something difficult, but everyone's in the same boat. Sorry. She goes, I agree. Then we zoom up. We go to another shot of fields and flowers and the tent. We go table talk. Old money. It was close to 100 degrees in the tent. It was the hottest she worked. Hong Kong in July, unair conditioned. Paul says, I worked in a bakery, 50 degrees in shorts. Paul says, I was a fire juggler on a volcano, but I got on with it. Okay, who's on top? Steve and Sophie were skillful. Liam was a little tardy in size. Lamination, though. So one of them, who was in the danger zone? Yan. She didn't achieve any lamination. Undercooked. A heap of things wrong. Struggled all weekend. Kate is there as well. Hideous. Stacy, not worth the calories. My ultimate test. And then we go out. Everybody's nervous. We get zooms on people's faces. They walk out. And Sandy does the announcing. Fantastic. She's trying to be really cheery. She gets to get Star Baker. This is a really tough challenge. I get to do pleasure. Star Baker. Person who brought the flavors bursting into our mouths. Laminate perfection. Star Baker Steven. Everybody claps. And this was a hard one for me, this loss. This is one of my favorite people. And Noel has a terrible job of announcing it. It just feels like somebody I actually know in my personal life. So I was rooting for her the whole time. So I guess I'd say I'm gutted because Yan has to go home. We'll always have Basil the veg. Okay. Stacy thought it was me. Prue says, I know you did. It was close. There's a lot of hugs. Yan says, amazed at how far I came. Difficult, tough, amazing experience. It's been the best. Makes me emotional. So sorry. It's okay. Wonderful adventure. Totally wonderful. Poor Yan, Bruce says. Everybody loved her. Nobody wants to see her go. Kate's still in shock. She says, I'm super excited but upset for Yan. Stacy's gobsmacked. I almost fainted. Shocked to my core. Stephen, well done, style and substance. Floating on that cloud again. And I think Liam says, I got all the so far. It's mad. He says mad like 5 or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, 4, 5. And then Sophie's proud and shocked. And then let's just run through my notes here. Mott, Flower World on Last Chance Showstopper. One more attempt to keep place in the tent. Table talk. Stephen, come back. Liam and Sophie, spot on. Kate Yan, trouble. Stacy, Muldoon, John McEnroe. Hot temperature, rise, fluster, more fluster. Buongiorno, shell shape, this loft leaf, zen perfectly flaky, 4.5 hours, infonare. Akin to lobster tail, 12 and 12, milkshake to not building layers. Even Paul struggled. Most complex, leave it to professionals. Boil lemons for 4 hour marmalade, getting that flare of leaves, 3 days to bottom. Don't smile, you picked it, Stephen says. Sophia Telly, tell us, Yan, Women's World Cup, lemon blueberry scones, maple bacon, Londoners through and through. Liam switches it up, orange rum raisin, fake ice lobster tails, grandfather delivery personal. Stacy machine, 14 meters of destiny, no tax, no taxi. Labor intensive, can't be rushed, fun leaves, spread the lard, stretch it out, one measure, sing. Why not technical? Showstopper, purely hearsay, lemon and tahini, risk, prunades. Sophie, cherry almond chocolate, underpants, citrus and sultanas, praline cream, extra shoe paste inside. 9 out of 10 did not. 2 hours in hot 40-degree, rising heat, sticky, butter melting. Sophie was machine. Stacy talking about schools and teachers. And moment of truth, start shaping. Wheel of lamination. Bake talk, multiple layers going on. Pet lobster. Sophie talking to self. Yan, I'll wear you your apron. Won't on my parking. Hot ice bath, melting heck. Makeshift Paul. Catch Liam flop, look in fridge. Such a wind-up merchant. Liam, lot, not worth the calories. Don't want to get that from Peru. In oven music, 15 to 20 minutes. Come on, babies. Yan, just don't know. Kate, laying on floor by oven. Yan, no lamination. I'm not laminate. I'm having a good time. Waiting, size, 10 minutes. Yan, no time to bake out of the oven. Music, stressful gig. Crapatelli, Dempsey. Filling tastes great, get in. Everyone watches Stacy. At last, yours are cooled. Distant to distant to distant. 1 minute left. Out of the hot tent. Outside, everyone talking, stressed, sitting, then sitting inside. Full judgment time. Liam, smile. Morning delivery. Insulation in size. Good lamination, delicious. Flavor lovely. Hell of an achievement. Stephen Proper, Showstopper style box, ticked and substance delivers, pastry so perfect, well done. Sophie, great lamination, classic lobster tail, nice bitterness, crisp leaves, quite a showstopper. Kate, disappointed in look, laminates, probable sat on, tahini and lemon, quite pleasant. Yan, not much lamination, flavor lovely, quite doughy, dough raw. We are a disappointed mess. Stacy Prue, laminating poor, too much sugar, like filling. Everyone is in the same boat. Table talk, closes into old money, 100 degrees, Peru, Hong Kong in July. Sophie, Steven, good place. Skillful, Liam, little tardy on size. Danger zone, Yan, struggled all weekend. Kate as well. Stacy, not worth calories. Utilized tear. Weight, stress. Here's Sunday first. Sandy first, trying to be cheery. Star Baker, Steven, Noel, leaving us. Yan says, oh my God. She says that before he says who's leaving. Yan, I'm sorry. We will always have Basil the veg. Stacy thought it was me. Saw it on your face. So yeah, this was again just a rough week for me because I was really rooting for Anne. I mean, this is one, I'm rooting for everybody, but Anne and Liam are my I mean, I like Steve, Sophie, Kate. Stacy reminds me of my sister a little bit. So, but Yan, Liam, and then, you want me to rate everybody? I mean, if my opinion of who I feel closest to or like rooting for the most, Liam, Yan, but she's not on anymore. Steven, Kate, Sophie, Stacy, but that's that's based on how I feel, not exactly who I think is the best. It's who I'm rooting for, which is always different. Because it's like in sports, if you root just for the team you thought was the best, it's different than the team you feel you're rooting for. So, yeah, I'm sorry to lose Yan, but, we'll be back next week. Good night, everybody. I hope you're in a bed of pillowy Italian pastry. Good night. All right, I want to thank everybody who became a patron recently. I want to thank Nigel, Blake, and Mike. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Natasha, Thought, and Logan. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Stephanie, Stephen, and Rosalind. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Melissa, Logan, and Isaac. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. May, Amanda, and Ed. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Margaret, Julie, and Emma. Thank you. Thanks, good night. Lauren, Shelby, and M. Thank you. Thanks, good night. Good night. Connemara, Danielle, and Leanie. Thank you. Thanks, good night. Allison, Tracy, and Charlie. Thank you. Thanks, good night. Hal, Emily, and Quinn. Thank you. Thanks, good night. Shamika, Ryan, and Dre. Thank you. Thanks, good night. Hope, Benny, and Amanda. Thank you. Thanks, good night. And Laura, Lisa, and Ann. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Thanks, and good night for the support. Couldn't do it without you. Salute Me really is here as a free podcast. Give people support the show on Patreon or support the sponsors twice a week, over 350 episodes in the feed. And we grow as a show by people who let other people know about the podcast, really word of mouth. Even if it's just about podcasting, not about Sleep With Me, just showing people how to use podcast apps or just telling them about the apps that you use, the shows you like to listen to, promotion by attraction. They call that. Yeah, say, hey, this is the app I use. You don't even have to show them on their phone. Hopefully just plant the seed. If you do want to share more about Sleep With Me on social media or whatever, use our referral program, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer, so you get rewarded for it. Thanks so much. And what do you say? Here's how we've been able to. Some of these Tuck You In sponsors have been enabling us to add more and more into the feed. Thanks. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots with a Tuck You In message here for our bedtime story podcast. We're trying out, and I kind of said this, free way to support Sleep With Me and bedtime stories from Sleep With Me is join our referral program. sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer, R-E-F-E-R. You get rewarded for introducing people to the free version of Sleep With Me, including access to Sleep With Me Plus. But most of all, just think about what your favorite podcast is or one of your favorite podcasts, and then support that podcast. It doesn't have to be Sleep With Me, but just to support your favorite podcast, because they could use your support right now. And if you decide, Sleep With Me is actually my favorite podcast, well, wow, blushing, seriously, even though it's imaginary here in this context, and support it at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, or listen to a show you love and see how they want to be supported. Thanks.